Welcome to Old Coins News. Today we bring you three amazing and historic coins, each carrying hidden value, rare features, and incredible stories from past. Every coin opens a new journey, a new discovery, and a world of knowledge. So let's begin this exciting numismatic adventure together, only on Old Coins News, where every old coin reveals its true identity. So let's get started. The 1985p United States Roosevelt dime is one of the most widely circulated small-denomination coins produced by the U.S. Mint, carrying deep historical significance, classic American symbolism, and important numismatic features that collectors study closely. On the obverse, the coin features a profile of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, designed by John R. Sinek in 1946, shortly after Roosevelt's death. His portrait represents leadership during the Great Depression and World War II, and paying tribute to his connection with the March of Dimes, a national program for polio eradication. The obverse inscriptions include liberty along the left rim, symbolizing one of the core American values, and the motto "In God We Trust" placed just below the portrait, reflecting the nation's spiritual foundation. To the right of Roosevelt's neck, collectors can find the small letter P mint mark, identifying the coin as a product of the Philadelphia Mint. The date 1985 appears on the lower right, marking the year of striking, and beneath the portrait is JS, the designer's initials. On the reverse, the 1985p dime carries a beautiful and symbolic design centered on a torch, representing freedom and enlightenment. On the left of the torch appears an olive branch, symbolizing peace, and on the right an oak branch, representing strength, victory, and stability. This powerful combination showcases America's balance between peace and power. The reverse legend United States of America curves around the top rim, while just below the branches appears a historic motto E pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one, emphasizing unity among states and citizens. At the bottom, the denomination 1 dime is boldly written, defining its value within the U.S. monetary system. Even though the coin is small in size, only 17.9 millimeters in diameter, its design carries some of the strongest patriotic and symbolic elements in American coinage. From a physical composition standpoint, the 1985p Roosevelt dime is part of the clad coinage era. It is made of a copper-nickel composition, with an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel, bonded to a pure copper core. The total weight is 2.27 grams, and the edge is reeded, giving it both security and a distinct tactile feel. The Philadelphia Mint struck over 1 billion dimes in 1985, making this a common circulation coin. However, while circulated examples are widely available, collectors often seek high-grade mint state coins, especially those free from scratches, wear, or contact marks. In higher grades such as MS65, MS66, or MS67, the coin becomes significantly more desirable and can sometimes command strong prices depending on the quality of the strike and luster. Proof-like surfaces, full torch details, or sharply defined features can increase value. The 1985p dime is also a strong representation of American economic history during the mid-1980s, a period marked by technological advancements, stabilizing currency, and large-scale coin production. This coin circulated heavily in everyday transactions, bus fares, vending machines, payphones, and small purchases, making it part of daily American life. Collectors appreciate this coin not only for its artistic detail, but also for the historical era it represents. Although not rare in general circulation, finding one in uncirculated condition straight from mint sets is much harder because most were released for public use. The coin remains an important part of the Roosevelt dime series, which has now been in continuous production for over 75 years. For many collectors around the world, including those who study old coins, the 1985p dime is a reminder of American craftsmanship, symbolism, and the legacy of Franklin D. Roosevelt engraved into millions of small pieces of metal still found today. The 1996p United States Roosevelt dime stands as an important modern circulation coin produced by the U.S. Mint during a period of technological advancement, stable coinage output, and continued reliance on John R. Sinek's classic 1946 design. On the obverse, the coin displays a well-known portrait of Franklin Delano Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States, honored for his leadership through the Great Depression and World War II and for his founding influence behind the March of Dimes, which is why his portrait appears on the nation's 10-cent piece. The design features Liberty positioned prominently along the left rim, a visual representation of one of the foundational ideals of the United States. The motto, "In God We Trust," sits just beneath Roosevelt's chin, reflecting the country's long-standing spiritual heritage and national identity. To the right of the portrait, clearly visible, is a P mint mark, signifying production at the Philadelphia Mint. This mint mark is especially important because Philadelphia began using P on dimes again after 1980, continuing consistently throughout the 1990s. The date 1996 is engraved at the lower right, marking the coin's year of issue, and beneath Roosevelt's neckline lie the initials JS, recognizing John Sinek as the original designer. All these elements together create a balanced, clean, and historically meaningful obverse composition. On the reverse side, the 1996 P dime features a powerful trio of symbols that have defined the Roosevelt dime series for decades. At the center stands a tall torch, representing liberty, enlightenment, and America's enduring pursuit of progress. To the left is an olive branch, symbolizing peace, diplomacy, and the hope for harmony in both national and international affairs. To the right is an oak branch, symbolizing strength, honor, and resilience, qualities that speak to the United States' ability to overcome challenges. Together, these three elements reflect a balanced message: a nation strong enough to defend itself, wise enough to uphold freedom, and peaceful enough to pursue unity. Curving around the upper rim is the inscription "United States of America," asserting the coin's national origin. Directly beneath the branches sits the important motto "E pluribus unum," meaning "out of many, one," expressing the unity of the states and the diverse population that forms a single nation. At the bottom appears the denomination 1 dime, clearly identifying its value. Though small in size, the 1996 P dime carries one of the most symbolically rich reverse designs in all of U.S. circulating coinage. From a technical perspective, the 1996 P dime is part of the modern clad coinage era and is composed of an outer layer made of 75% copper and 25% nickel, bonded to an inner core of pure copper. This results in a total weight of 2.27 grams and a diameter of 17.9 millimeters, with a thickness of 1.35 millimeters, a standard set for all Roosevelt dimes produced since 1965. The edge is reeded, featuring fine grooves that trace back to earlier centuries when reeded edges were used to deter shaving precious metal from silver coins. While modern dimes no longer contain silver, the reeded edge remains as a traditional and easily recognizable security feature. In terms of mintage, the Philadelphia Mint produced hundreds of millions of 1996 P dimes, making this issue extremely common in circulation. However, collectors still seek high-grade examples with strong luster, sharp details, and minimal contact marks. Coins rated in MS-65, MS-66, or MS-67 can be significantly more desirable, particularly those that display full details in Roosevelt's hair and a crisp, sharply struck torch on the reverse. Historically, the 1996 dime represents a period of smooth, stable production at the U.S. Mint, with improvements in die-making technology resulting in cleaner, more consistent strikes. Many of these coins circulated heavily in everyday life, used for vending machines, parking meters, food stalls, telephone booths, bus fares, and countless small transactions that defined American daily commerce. Because of this widespread circulation, most examples today show moderate wear and loss of detail. Finding one in true uncirculated condition, especially with exceptional eye appeal, is much more challenging. The 1996 P dime also belongs to the era before state quarters and other commemorative programs shifted public attention, meaning it represents the last phase of quiet, modern coinage before larger designs captured national interest. Despite its common circulation status, the 1996 P dime is a valuable piece of collectors completing Roosevelt dime sets, studying minting quality variations, or looking for high-grade modern examples. Its combination of strong symbolism, historical continuity, and clean, modern production makes it a meaningful addition to any numismatic collection. For many collectors worldwide, including those studying old coins, the 1996 P dime serves as a reminder of America's economic life, artistic consistency, and the long-standing tribute to President Roosevelt captured in millions of beautifully struck copper-nickel dimes still circulating today. The 1967 United States Roosevelt dime is a coin that reflects a very important period in American coinage history, coming from an era of major changes in metal composition, minting policies, and national economic challenges. The obverse of the 1967 dime features the famous profile portrait of President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, designed by John R. Sinek and first introduced in 1946 in honor of Roosevelt's leadership during the Great Depression and World War II, as well as his strong connection with the March of Dime program. The word liberty appears boldly on the left side of the portrait, emphasizing one of America's most foundational principles. The motto, "In God We Trust," appears near Roosevelt's neck, reminding of the country's spiritual grounding and long-standing national identity. At the bottom right is the date 1967, marking the year this coin was struck. Unlike many other years, the 1967 dime carries no mint mark, because from 1965 to 1967 the United States Mint removed all mint marks on coins to discourage hoarding during a national coin shortage. So even though millions of these dimes are produced at multiple facilities, none carry a P, D, or S mark. Beneath Roosevelt's neck are the small initials JS, the designer's signature mark, kept as part of tradition and recognition of the original artwork. On the reverse side, the 1967 Roosevelt dime presents a deeply symbolic trio of elements that have defined the series for decades. At the center stands a torch representing liberty, enlightenment, and progress, values the United States as associated with its national journey. To the left of the torch is an olive branch, symbolizing peace, diplomacy, and America's desire to maintain harmony at home and abroad. To the right is an oak branch, representing strength, courage, and resilience, signaling that the nation possesses both the power to defend itself and the determination to grow. Surrounding these symbols appears the inscription United States of America, curved along the top, while classical motto E pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one, is placed just beneath the branches, signifying unity among the states. At the bottom along the rim is a denomination 1 dime, clearly indicating the coin's value. Despite being one of the smallest denominations, the dime carries one of the richest symbolic designs in American circulating coinage. From a technical and physical perspective, the 1967 dime is part of the clad coinage era, a massive shift in U.S. minting policy that began in 1965 when silver was removed from circulating dimes and quarters due to rising silver prices. As a result, the 1967 dime is composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel on the outer layers, bonded to a pure copper core. This gives it a total weight of 2.27 grams, a thickness of 1.35 millimeters, and a diameter of 17.9 millimeters, making it extremely recognizable by touch and feel. The edge of the coin is reeded, a design choice originally used to prevent shaving off tiny bits of precious metal from coins, even though post-1965 dimes no longer contain silver. During this period, the U.S. Mint produced hundreds of millions of 1967 dimes and released them directly into circulation without special mint sets, making them extremely common in pocket change but harder to find in pristine condition. Because proof sets were not produced in 1967, collectors rely heavily on high-quality business strikes or special mint-issued SMS coins that were released in limited sets to substitute for proofs. These special mint set versions often have a sharper strike, satin surfaces, and better details, making them more desirable to collectors. Historically, the 1967 dime reflects a turning point in American numismatics, during which the public was adjusting to a new era of non-silver coinage. These coins circulated widely in daily transactions, parking meters, payphones, vending machines, and small purchases, making them a part of everyday American economic life. While circulated examples are extremely easy to find, high-grade uncirculated examples with bright luster and clean fields are significantly harder to locate. Collectors often search for coins with sharp details in Roosevelt's hair, strong lines on the torch flame, and fully visible features on the olive and oak branches. The absence of a mint mark also adds an interesting historical detail, marking it as part of the short 3-year span when the U.S. Mint intentionally removed all mint identifiers to stabilize coin circulation. Today, The 1967 dime remains an important piece for collectors of the Roosevelt series, not because of rarity, but because of its strong symbolic design, transitional historical significance, and representation of a major shift away from precious metal coinage. With millions still in circulation, yet only a fraction surviving in high-grade condition, the 1967 Roosevelt dime stands as a small but meaningful reminder of America's monetary evolution and artistic heritage.